The Eights has already figured out what Dallas is doing on night one in Pittsburgh, going defense from the SEC twice. Corner Jermod McCoy, ACL issues be darned. And edge rusher R. Mason Thomas from Oklahoma. It's been a while since Dallas went defense twice in round one, 2005, but it went great. Hall of Famer DeMarcus Ware and our own Swagoo. Here's year two Cowboys head coach Brian Schottenheimer on Dallas's draft needs.
I think we did a really good job setting ourselves up to be able to draft natural and draft pure, which is what you want to do. You don't want to have to be forced to reach for a player. That's when you make mistakes.
Tim Hasselbeck, are you buying what Brian Schottenheimer's selling there?
I think it's true on the defensive side of the ball. I'm not totally positive that's right on the offensive side. Look, if there's a receiver there, I don't think they're taking him. But I do think it's true on the defensive side because, they could address all three levels of their defense. You go back, it's funny seeing that graphic on 2005. Look, if they went, edge rusher, interior defensive lineman, wouldn't it be terrible? If they went edge rusher, linebacker, edge rusher, secondary player, wouldn't be terrible. So I think I see all of that and think there is some truth to what Brian Schottenheimer is saying.
Yeah, I agree. I think it really comes down to the fact that they have so many needs. Like Tim said, you could draft at multiple positions on defense, and I wouldn't quibble with it. I don't think it's worth it for them to go up and get a player. I think the top three edges will likely be gone by then. But I will say this. Sonny Styles, to me, is the dream fit, both in terms of the best player of the position, the glaring need for Dallas. And if I'm them, I am praying that he gets out of the top 10 and falls to them at 12. Now, I don't know if that's going to happen. It seems unlikely after the Combine, but that, to me, would be the optimal outcome for Dallas.
Brian Schottenheimer may have talked about not needing to reach with any of those early picks. That part's not earth-shattering, but, Tim, something you alluded to, Schottenheimer did address and made some waves when he said he wouldn't rule out any position when Dallas is on the clock.
You want to be prepared to do what we need to do on defense, but certainly we're not going to pass on a great offensive player if they're there at one of those spots.
That's 12 overall, Bill Barnwell. Reflexively, it seems a little crazy Dallas would go offense that early. Is it?
Well, it's good that we've narrowed it down. The Cowboys are taking a defensive player or an offensive player. Brandon Aubrey's job is safe in Big D for another year. I do believe offense is in play here just because of the Cowboys' history. We give Jerry Jones some flack, I would say, for maybe getting distracted by shiny things. But look at their draft history. They lean into drafting offensive linemen in the first round. They have taken 3 of them in recent years. We're now starting up front for them. All the great Cowboys teams of the past 30 years have had great offensive lines. And I do look at right tackle where, you have Terrence Steele in the final year of his deal, most likely. He did sign an extension, but it's really a 1-year contract. Would the Cowboys consider an offensive tackle at 12? I do think that's a possibility if, as Mina said, maybe a Sonny Styles is not there.
Wouldn't be the first time.
A great defensive player for them. Could still go defense at 20, but maybe get a tackle at 12.
All right, I'm going to say something that is going to sound insane.
You go on.
It's not going to happen. But this is my favorite Jeremiah Love destination. And I think he's going to be gone by then, by all accounts. But the funny thing about running backs, guys, is, and this is so weird with this position, the way I feel is they're actually more valuable if you have a good offensive line and a good receiver core, because dropping it back like Jeremiah Love into this offense would be like what happened when Saquon Barkley ended up in Philadelphia, in my estimation. Whereas if you put him behind, I don't know, the Titans offensive line, for example, I don't think he would be as productive, and I don't think he would be as valuable. But this was already a top 5 offense, and I think if they had Love, it would just go nuclear. They have Javonte Williams, who's making like $8 million. So I don't think it's going to happen, but I do want to say, I would like to see it. It would be my favorite outcome.
I don't think it's going to happen either.
I don't think that's
the money, spent at the position, and the fact that, that doesn't seem to make a ton of sense. I will say this: if for some reason you've got him rated incredibly high, and for whatever reason he does not go, Look, it was Brian Schottenheimer's dad, Marty, who had coached LaDainian Tomlinson, in San Diego. His rookie year, he had over 390 touches. And so, as I mentioned earlier, the amount of impact a running back in their rookie season can have on an offense and on their team. That is the value if they are an elite player. And so I don't think it's going to happen, but I agree it would be kind of funny.
Well, since buying the team, Jerry Jones has drafted 4 running backs in the first round. Half of them, absolute home runs. Ezekiel Elliott was a first-team All-Pro, and up here.
Well, some food for thought, good people. What's up, everybody? Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. Hope everybody is having a great finally freaking Friday. We are rolling down the hill here towards the NFL draft, and so many options and so many things that can happen. Let me say with the absolute certainty, I can guarantee you this, that nobody knows what the frick is going to happen coming to the draft. Forget about every single mock draft you have. I don't usually do them because for me, Nico's in the house. What's up, Nico?
Silky, milky, your smile is like sunshine. That's why I had to dedicate at least one rhyme.
Lady Libra in the house.
Milky, your smile is like sunshine. That's why I had to dedicate at least one rhime.
And Holly Pierce, how y'all doing? Hope everybody's doing good. I tell you what, Nico, it's gotten cold again. It was 69 degrees this morning, okay? 69. It was 69 this morning, and right now it's about like 38. I don't know and raining. I don't know what the hell happened, but I wish I had my Afghan right now on my legs because I'm freezing down here. It's cold in here. Appreciate you all being here. Marcus Blackmore, what's going on? Lady Libra in the house. Roland Reviews. What's up, Roland? How are you doing? We've got the Reaper in the house. We got Dirty Nasty Sanchez. We got Alan Williams. What's up, Alan Williams? And let's see, Nico, we said hello. Alan Williams. We got Kid Cowboy in the house. And we got little Dallas Cowboys, our number one Dak Prescott hater here. Dallas Cowboy for life. Gilly and Nick's in the house. What's going on? Broken Halo. We don't need no damn stud defender. We had one Micah, and that didn't go anywhere. That's a thought. Lady Libra, shout out to you, double dipping on both channels. We got Jeff Lee. My name is Jeff. What's going on? And we've got Alan Williams in the house. We got A Crown in the house. What's going on? Shout out to everybody who's here. So, we got all kinds of things. Now, it's amazing because it seems like teams are more apt to make trades with number one picks than before. And if we've got the fan got shut down right now, laugh out loud. What do you mean the fan got shut down? The fan got shut down for what? Their little Dallas Cowboys, their YouTube channel, or the station itself? Did they have a power outage, or did the FCC come for them? What happened? Son of John, shout out for the first super chat of the night. Son of John, what's up, man? How are you doing? Hit the like button. I want Myles Garrett. I'm going to ask. I've been on both sides of the fence of this thing. I'm literally twisted on it because I'm going to ask this one, and maybe I'm wrong. Their YouTube channel for content. They got copywritten. Say what? No. Miss Gibson in the house. Shout out to Miss Gibson, 51 years as a channel member. Woohoo! Okay. When has a team won a Super Bowl that has traded 2 first round or more for a player that's not a quarterback, won a Super Bowl? If you know, by all means, let me know. 2 first round picks for one player. I can think of Khalil Mack going from the Raiders to the Bears did not lead to a Super Bowl. I can remember the Bobby Show. Oh, shit. I have to check that out. Wait a minute. 105.3 The Fan. I see it's still there. Little Dallas Cowboy. The Bobby Show. They didn't shut down the whole channel. They must have just shut down one segment. Let me see.
Are you guys ready for some?
Okay, well, I still see the channel there. I'm not sure what the Bobby Show. Okay. Come join us. Okay. Maybe it was a live stream that got shut down. I don't know. Okay. Not my problem, at least. Okay. I'm still here. But I'm not sure trading for Myles Garrett is their live stream. Okay. Damn. Well, that's crazy. I don't remember too many live streams being shut down too often, but okay. They got a copyright strike. But I'm being serious here on the trade. When has, and give me an example, if you can think of one, has it worked? Here's my other part on this, because one minute I say, man, if we gave up our first this year, our number 12, and if we gave up, the other one we have next year, that doesn't sound so bad. I keep thinking that in my mind, but then in the back of my mind, I got this little voice over here that says, hey, how many playoff wins has Myles Garrett been part of? Even with the 23 sack season he just had, how many wins did they get, Mark? Hey, hey, Mark. TJ Watt, a guy you should have drafted. How many playoff wins has he been part of? Hey, Mark. Max Crosby. How many playoff wins has he been part of? Hey, Mark. Micah Parsons. How many has he been in? Of those 4 guys, 2 playoff wins. You can look at those 4. Here's how bad it is. Because little Dallas Cowboy, who's a Dak Prescott hater, who says everything has to be perfect for him. Do you realize if you take Myles Garrett, Max Crosby, Micah Parsons, and TJ Watt, that together they have the same amount of playoff wins as Dak Prescott?
Oh shit! Oh shit!
I shit you not. Think about that for a second. Think about that. That collectively, we had Micah. We had Micah for 4 years. He helped us with 1 playoff win. Right? Nico, I agree. Khalil Mack. But Khalil Mack, the Bears defense got better, but it didn't lead to a Super Bowl. Jamal Adams was traded for 2 to Seattle. Didn't lead to a Super Bowl. Joey Galloway for the Dallas Cowboys didn't even really make it out of training camp before he tore up his knee. I said, give me examples where a trade of somebody for 2 first-round picks other than a quarterback led to a Super Bowl. 3/4 of those teams had horrible offense. One great defensive player alone is not enough to win deep in the playoffs. True. I will give you that, Dwayne. But, Dwayne, here's the other side of that. The Cowboys were the worst defense in football last year. If you're saying that one great defensive player is not enough to win deep in the playoffs, how's that not true with them being on the defense? We saw that with the Cowboys with Micah. Now, I can say that we've got a better cast on the defensive front than we had those years, but are we better on the back end? Are we better at the linebackers at the moment? That's my conundrum here. Is that going to be the be-all? Because what it's going to take then is, where are we getting the linebackers? Are our cornerbacks good enough? Have we put too much on Overshown? Here's a little take from Rich Eisen on the Browns situation.
NFL resolution proposal number 2 for those scoring at home in next week's NFL annual meeting, which is the official way of saying owners meeting, by Cleveland to allow draft selections to be traded up to 5 seasons in the future. 5. And I've been saying this is a terrible idea.
You have.
And I've been saying it's NBAing up the NFL draft, all of that business. And we'll discuss even that later on when the NBA has come up with some anti-tanking ideas, which we'll talk about next hour. Or hour 3. I promise we'll talk about it. And I've been saying this is Cleveland, but that stance doesn't change. I still think it's a terrible idea. It's an awful idea because you need to save some franchises from themselves. And also, franchises, if they wind up trading all these draft choices for one player, suddenly that player stinks on ice or isn't good enough or
the Miami
gets hurt
Dolphins.
And ruins the franchise's ability to win to the point you have to fire the coach and the general manager. Which good coach or GM would take your job without any first-round draft selections years into the future? You're handcuffing yourself. And I even took a shot at Cleveland, saying, of course, it's the Browns coming up with this idea.
Of course, it's the Browns.
Because they're the ones that are going to blow all these draft choices on the wrong guy, just like they did, say, Deshaun Watson. Mm-hmm. And I am now saying potentially mea culpa to the Browns, because this business of Myles Garrett's contract being redone to move a bonus to the beginning of the playing season, or just on the cusp of it, at the end of training camp and preseason, people are saying this gives the Browns more flexibility to potentially trade Myles Garrett. If you're going to trade Myles Garrett, and you know you're going to get at least 2 or 3 first-round picks for this guy, why not create a rule where you can ask for 5? And who's the player out there that could actually get another team to go so deep in its draft pockets that
now
they
that's
would give
crazy.
you a draft choice 4 or 5 years from now? Myles Garrett. Maybe the Browns are playing 4-dimensional chess.
Yay!
Now, again, I keep saying, why would you trade for one of those draft choices? Because you don't even know what the draft is going to look like 4 or 5 years from now. You're saying, I'd just rather have a first-round pick for that high school player. That kid in 9th grade right now who is, or pardon me, 12th grade, 11th grade right now who's balling out. I'd rather keep one in my back pocket for that. Certainly when you're seeing teams right now make moves for next year's draft because they know this year's draft is not as good.
Yeah.
So why would you do that? Why would you commit to having a draft choice in a draft 4 years out when it takes you some time to realize, right before a draft, it's not as good. But if the Browns are sitting here thinking we can get 3 for Myles Garrett, 5 sounds better than 3.
Yeah, and a 2 and a 4 and 20.
No. don't go for 2s and 4s. Nuh-uh. You're going for firsts. And if you're going for firsts, 5 sounds better than 3.
That would be insane.
I see you, Browns.
I don't see anybody giving up 3.
Rule proposal number 2.
Don't see anybody
Coming
giving up
around?
Resolution proposal.
Coming around?
No, I think
Coming
it's
around?
still a terrible idea to trade for them. And I think it's a terrible idea to let franchises do that. Because the last thing you want to do is have your draft more like the NBA's if you're the NFL, because the NFL draft and the way it's gone and the way it is and the way it's growing and the way it's now become an annual event going from town to town to town to town, you don't want to mess with it.
You don't.
And you don't want to mess with a franchise's ability to get better. You don't want to do that. You want to put guardrails on people who need it, and by that I mean billionaires.
Yeah.
Just look at the country. At any rate.
That's an interesting point there, that maybe the Browns are looking at this and saying, yeah, we want to get, oh my God, little Dallas Cowboy. Bench Dak for a guy who threw 21 interceptions with 21 TD passes. That's the ticket there. Way to go. I'm going to dispute you, little Dallas Cowboy, on that Dak Prescott came to a great team and they won, because he was on a great team. I do recall that the team that Dak Prescott took over for was 4-12. That they had 3 different starting quarterbacks. Tony Romo, the only one that was actually credible. We had Matt Castle, who actually was a Pro Bowl quarterback at one time. And then we couldn't stay off the weed with Brandon Weeden. And those guys all combined led to 4 wins. Dak Prescott and Zeke Elliott were the only changes on that offense, and they won 13 games. So you and your haterism, sorry, bro. The Cleveland Browns, how do you think the Cleveland Browns, what I think the Cleveland Browns are looking at, this is my thought. If you're the Cleveland Browns, you got new coaches, you actually had some really good receivers there for a while. You reached in trying to get a quarterback, Deshaun Watson, who unfortunately you gave a fully guaranteed $230 million. And for that, you got 16 touchdown passes and I think 19 interceptions. And since that time, you've been trying to do a mismatch of quarterbacks and everything else that you literally just have to wait this thing out because you've restructured the hell out of the contract and kicked the money down the road as long as you possibly can. And the reason that they're in the problem that they are is because they can't get a quarterback. If they had a Dak Prescott, they'd solved a lot of problems. Best offensive line in football in 2016. I'll give you that good offensive line. But if it was so easy, then how come Matt Castle, because we had a credible offensive line. I believe we were 5th in rushing in 2015 there, little Cowboys. Actually, it was only 3 wins by Romo. I was at one of the wins that they had. It was against Washington, and it was 1916, I believe. It was mainly because Deshaun Watson ran backwards on a punt and fumbled at the 6-yard line. We were able to kick a field goal to win. I was there. I was there in the end zone in the NFL PA suite, DeMarcus Smith's suite, watching that game. Yes, it's true. Matt Castle was the quarterback of that game. So it was 3 wins by Tony Romo. And I'll agree, we did have the best offensive line. That was the pinnacle of the Dallas Cowboys offensive line, because after the 2015 season, it was 2016 that Tyron Smith started missing games. Yes, it was. And I will give you that with the running game we had with Zeke Elliott that year, yeah, that definitely helped out a rookie quarterback. But since that time, the Dallas Cowboys offensive line has not been the greatest offensive line in football. because 2017, I remember, as we put it, okay, we were 9-7 that year. We just missed the playoffs. Zeke Elliott was going to New York every freaking week because of being, trying to keep from being suspended before he was finally suspended. You had Tyron Smith miss, I think, 3 or 4 games that season, and that season was horrendous. And then I believe it was the next year that we had Travis Frederick have Hillian-Barr syndrome and sit out the season. He came back the following year, was never the same. And after that, we ended up having a mismatch from Joe Looney to Connor McGovern and Biotish at center, and have not been stable at center until last year with Cooper Beebe. And when we had to throw in, no, I didn't say Little Dallas Cowboys. I did not say that he did. But if we're saying that any quarterback out there could do what Dak Prescott could do, then how come Matt Castle, if we had a great offensive line and Darren McFadden rushed for over 1,000 yards, which is, he rushed for more yards than anybody with the exception of Javonte Williams this year. He rushed for more yards than any running back we had in the 2020s in a season. And you have that offensive line. If anybody could do it, how come those guys couldn't do it? They had Dez, they had Jason Witten, they had the best offensive line in football. They had a credible offensive line. Little Dallas Cowboys, I said we won 4 games. Matt Castle won one of them. Matt Castle won one of them. I said I was there. You can try and extrapolate that. Okay. So, and if you want to extrapolate that there, that's fine, Little Dallas Cowboys, 12-4. So what you're saying is then Dak Prescott and Tony Romo, same guy. Because he had 13-3. And I'm going to move on because I'm not here just to sit here and have an argument with Little Dallas Cowboys with his little brain. Okay? Because Dak Prescott's the quarterback we got. And if you don't have Dak Prescott right now, who you got for your quarterback there, bro? Oh, I forgot. You're ready to put it over to Sam Howell. There you go. Sam Howell will have us with the number 1 offense next year. There you go. Logan Motorsports, how you doing? Tommy, what's going on? We're getting more and more Washington fans that are here. I saw Momo in the house here. And for those who have been wondering, oh, man. I'm in big trouble, y'all. I can tell you right now, I'm in big, big, big trouble. And I don't know what I'm going to do. You ever just go out in the backyard and you step in some shit? You're like, oh, fuck, man. I got that shit all over my shoes. And I don't think I'm going to be able to get it off. And the shit stink. I don't know what they feeding that dog, but the shit stinks. Momo was about the quickest with the draw to pay for his hotel room, pay for his share for the trip. Momo then called me, poor little lamb, nasty Mark. I'm just saying. Momo then called me like 4 times a day. 4 times a day. Mark, can I ask you something, Mark? This is cockage, but Holmes got the mic. So he's going to burp those gums? What? Is this your whole life, Little Dallas Cowboy? that you go from YouTube channel to YouTube channel, and when all you can do is talk about how bad Dak Prescott is. Because I'll be real with you, without Dak Prescott, man, we the Commanders. So Momo is not only going on the trip. Mark, can I ask you something? I'm not going to fly. I'm going to go ahead and take the train, and I'll be up there Tuesday. Can somebody pick me up from the train station? Mark, can I ask you something? Mark, what? I need a place to stay when I come up there on Tuesday. Can I stay at your house? Hey, Mark. My train trip isn't going back until Sunday. When we leaving the draft, we leave Saturday morning. We're going to drive 5 hours back here to my house. Mark, my train isn't going back until Sunday. Can somebody give me a ride to the train station? And Mark, can I stay at your house? I said, okay. Now, now I'm really worried too. I had to let him know that there's some house rules, okay? Because I said, well, don't pack too much stuff because we're all going to be in SUV. He said, pack anything. I'm gonna wear the same thing every day. He said, I don't need any toiletries to take a bath or anything.
Oh shit!
I said, Momo, we have a no funk rule. I'll be damned. I said, I will leave your ass. I don't care where it is. If you funky, I'm not riding 5 hours in a vehicle with you funky. Look, you can't be stinking up the place like your Commanders. No. And you damn sure, shit. I said, you damn sure are not going to funk at my house. I said, then again, I ain't got to worry about that because Miss Tracy will put a foot in your ass in a minute. Tell him rule number one is if he has to keep his pants up, oh God, why you clouding? This is real. I'm generally worried. Bessa, you are right. Jaden Daniels and the Commanders did go to the NFC Championship, unlike Dak Prescott. You're 100% right on that one. I can't. Dart already beat Dak. Well, their defense. I'm going to say their defense. Excuse me. Our defense beat Dak. Sorry. You cannot see this. This is where you're small-minded. You can't go through and say, when you had the best offense in football and the worst defense, that the reason you lost was because of the quarterback. Can't do that. Sorry, can't do that. When you literally had to go ahead and go for it on fourth down. Excuses? Okay. Jeff Lee, I'll tell Tracy you said hi. Always Jalen Daniels has had only balls Momo was wishing. Or Dak in the playoffs. He wants to spell so bad as the Commanders. Like I said, I told him, don't make me leave you someplace. No, I'm serious. I will leave you. I can't do that. So, you got what you paid for defense. Yeah, well, whose fault is that one? That's on the Joneses. That's on the Joneses for going through and getting bargain basement guys. Okay, jeez. How do I get off track with the haters? Good God. All right. Got to wash your bum. Take him snipe. Yeah, we'll take him. Well, we will be at a cabin, so we can definitely do that. We can take him out in the woods and go snipe hunting and leave his ass out there. All right, so the question will be is, since, we have Whack Dak who sucks and has to have everything perfect, kind of like most quarterbacks in the NFL, it seems, because, Josh Allen ain't exactly won one. Lamar Jackson certainly hasn't seemed to have won one, and neither has Jordan Love or C.J. Stroud or these guys or Baker Mayfield, that apparently it does take more than just a quarterback. And even say Aaron Rodgers, who's been multiple MVPs, won one when he had the number 3 defense. I don't think when he won the Super Bowl he had the worst defensive football. But that's maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Blue Virus in the house. What's up? Oh, there's Momo now. Logan Motorsports in the house. Maybe, just maybe, if we can get a little more balance with the defense that's credible, that can actually stop the run in the playoffs, maybe we might do better. Maybe. And little Dallas Cowboys, it's true. It's been 10 years with Dak, but it's been 30 years with the Joneses and their philosophy on how to win. How about that? Justin Herbert, man, does he have a playoff win? Oh, no, he doesn't, does he? Yeah, Justin Herbert. There you go. Stop lying. I can get any hotel or Airbnb. I'm just saying, Momo, am I lying? Did you say, oh, I won't be bathing, I just go funky? You said that to me, and what did I say to you? Momo, did you or did you? Look, I'm gonna bring this. I'm gonna be spraying CD Lamb spray on you, Momo. This is the Momo spray. Momo, you said, I'm not going to be bathing. I said, motherfucker, if I have to throw your ass in the shower, I'm going to throw you. Okay? I'm just saying, Momo. Listen, I don't know you like that. I know you on YouTube, on being on my channel. And and tell me you haven't called me 4 times today. Come on, Momo. Momo. I know it's going to be a rough week for me. Look. Hey, Mark, can I say something? Herbert just beat Dak. Okay, yeah, well, again, I'm going to go through and say, if your defense gives up 30 points a game, and Justin Herbert, okay, and little Dallas Cowboy, Justin Herbert has been averaging about 200 yards a game. This past year, Justin Herbert was ass. His defense kept saving him. I called you, Momo. Here's how bad I am. I couldn't even remember which was the right number. If you look at my text trail, Momo, you're in there twice, and I can't even remember which number is yours. Yes, I did. All right, so we're already starting out fighting. Okay, good. I'm ready for the draft. Now, the Dallas Cowboys, let me ask you this. Logan, he called me. Oh, wait a minute, Momo. If I pull it up on the screen. If I pull it up on the screen, it will, you'll see you'll see the phone numbers. So no, I can't do that. Okay. I'll tell you what. Okay. So I did call you Momo one time today, 2:10 this afternoon. I called you because you said you sent the money and I said I didn't see it. You called me at 1:11. You called me yesterday at 8:22. You called me yesterday at 5:24. You called me yesterday at 12:54. You called me on Wednesday at 9:20. There you go. All right. So maybe I exaggerate a little. It was 3 times. 3 times. And I called you twice. Okay? To double check. Momo about to break bad now. Oh, shit. It's needless to say, it's going to be made for YouTube streaming television Tuesday through Sunday. Love you, Momo. Love you. All right. Is it me, or do the Dallas Cowboys have an affection for injured linebackers? Think about this for a second. Sean Lee, who I wish had never been injured, because Sean Lee had incredible mind. My bad, Mark. What I meant to say, Mark calls Momo, and Momo answers the phone like Lionel Richie says, hello, what are you looking for? Now you're acting like you. What the fuck? We kid because we love Momo, but you did say you weren't going to bathe. And I said, I should have been thinking, you showed your ass on my channel. What are you talking about? All right. Moving on from Little Dallas Cowboy and Momo Stank, okay? No Momo, B-Dunk says no Momo slander will be tolerated. Okay. Back to Cowboys getting injured linebackers. Sean Lee had bad knees coming out of college. Played great when he was healthy, but unfortunately had knee issues for most of his career. Right? Jalen Smith. Some people said he will maybe never play again. Had dropped foot from his injured knee. We drafted him. Leighton Vander Esch had neck issues. Neck issues in college, and we drafted him. Who else? Who am I missing? Oh, we signed Anthony Barr. Anthony Barr coming off an ACL injury. And now we're relying on Overshown, who's had 2 knee injuries. I'm mystified. It seems like every linebacker we've gotten in recent history, he was the best out of all of them. Health only thing. Yeah, I agree, overkiller. But every one of them has had an injury history. Every single one of them. And you need a lights out linebacker. So if you go in and you end up getting Myles Garrett, you throw everything at Myles Garrett, I'm not sure that my linebacking core is anywhere close to what I need right now. Now, I know they say that this draft isn't like next year's draft is the draft you really want, which is then the problem of trading your first round pick for next year is maybe that's the one you actually want to keep. We have a fetish for drafting injured players. They love it. Claiborne revealed, oh my God. Morris Claiborne, that one right there, when people start saying we should trade up, I'm like, no, bro. I just remember Morris Claiborne. And Morris Claiborne, they said, oh, he is, the best defender in the lot. He's just great and everything else. And he couldn't bust a grape. So I need myself a linebacker more than Overshown. I hope Overshown ends up being healthy from here on out and that he's going to be great. But I'm really concerned about that. Now, for the Cowboys, we've got our 30 visits, okay? Clive Downs revealed that that he's going to be visiting the Cowboys, which is great to hear. Clive Downs, safety. But the thing about safety is the Cowboys have not been the team that has been the team that believes in safeties. I can't remember. Oh, it's little bitch boy that's on your new name because you cried to be a grown man on YouTube about, wait, what? About me bullying you? What? Who's little? Oh, it's little bitch boy. Who are you talking about there, Dirty? Wow. Okay. People getting hot and heavy. Little Dallas Cowboy, I guarantee you, if you broke a hangnail, you'd be crying like a little bitch. To say Dak Prescott was crying like a little girl when he literally had his ankle severed. I'm sorry. You're sorry, bro. You're a sick little bitch. You are. You know what? Bye, little Dallas Cowboy. Peace out. Yes, I blocked you. Yes, I did. You can take your hate somewhere else because I've just had enough of it. Fuck this. Yes, I mispronounce names. But when you go ahead and you make fun of people getting hurt, sorry. You're the lowest of the low. And I ain't got time for that. Anywhere but Dallas. Big Spank Dog. Momo said it. Dream pick number 12. Blaine and Allen 20. Well, that would be nice to get Blaine, but who knows who's going to drop to us. So, Clab Downs. Clab Downs, okay, or Club, okay, you know who the fuck I'm talking about, okay? Sorry my dyslexia bothers you. If it bothers you that much, don't watch. That's real simple. Most people know. Wow. Okay, so I know who you really are. Okay. Go ahead and make another one. Peace out. Okay. Welcome, Frank. All right. Back to trying to carry on a conversation. Our visits thus far, Thomas Garrett in the house. Sonny Styles. I would love to have Sonny Styles. Sonny Styles would be a plug-in right now, linebacker that you'd look at and say, yeah, I feel much better. I feel better because now I've got a linebacker, I've got Overshown, and, Overshown, great. Then we got icing on the cake. Most people have him projected to be a top 10 pick. Most people have him projected at 5th. But you never know how things go. Oh, my God. You are like a virus here, little Dallas Cowboy fan. How many fucking profiles do you have? So we're on number 3 already? Okay. I'll wait for number 4. We've had Mansour Delane, cornerback out of LSU, also projected to be a top 10 pick. Queen Cockroach here, dude. I've had my ankle footly reconstructed, 18 weeks in a cast, 2 years in recovery. Dak was back the following year. Don't crap on the man. And that comes from an Eagle fan. Thank you very much, Nico. Appreciate that. How you doing, Kid Cowboy? Don't think that Mansour will be there unless there's a run on offensive players. This is what we can hope for. We can hope that a team like Miami, who has gotten rid of all of their offensive weapons seemingly and signed Malik Willis, says, we need to get an offensive stud to go with Malik Willis. That team, you want to talk about busting the bank? Their bank is busted. Miami only has $130 million to spend for the whole team. That's it. $130 million. Dwayne Sweeney, Greg asked about you. Come see me on 92.3 The Fan, Cleveland. Okay, Kid Cowboy. All right. Oh, my God. You literally are the plague. So now we're the little Dallas Cowboy J2E, sensitive little fanboys. Okay. Wow. It's amazing that I can evoke so much passion and, angry passion. You like a little stalker bitch right here. My God. We've had Omar Cooper, wide receiver from Indiana, projected to be a second-round draft pick. Oh, by the way, we don't have a second-round draft pick. Consensus rank 22nd. I'm sure that little Dallas Cowboy is making another profile right now, and he'll be back in about Oh, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, he's not back yet. But he'll be back again, sure. We had Kamari Ramsey, safety, projected to be a third-round pick from USC. Another one of our picks, one of our visits. We had Romello Height, edge rusher, Texas Tech, another third-round projected pick. We've had Malik Muhammad. I really like Malik Muhammad, cornerback. I think he could actually be a guy that could end up thriving in our system in the future. Projected to be 98th and third-round pick. We had Charles Demings, cornerback, projected to be 168. And we've got, who did I miss? Defensive lineman Renee Kuga, defensive tackle, who's projected to be 424. So you've seen a bit. Oh, he's back. He's calling me a bitch. Okay, I'll keep you busy. I can play. I got all night there, little Dallas Cowboy. Go ahead and make another one. Okay, G9W. Go ahead. I will when I see him tomorrow, but we need us on 103 The Fan. Okay. Damn. The haters just won't quit tonight. Didn't anyone see Duke St. John's game? Nah, I didn't have time to do that. So the question here is, the Cowboys always like to draft guys that they bring in on the 30 for 30 visits. Now, we've changed a few things up. I live in Cleveland, fan. I love it in Cleveland, fan. You live in Cleveland, Kid Cowboy. Got you. Okay. I apologize because you guys deserve better. You guys, Philadelphia, to Nico, to Overdrive, to DaCosta, all you guys deserve attention. And you get one little punk-ass biatch that just wants to make sure that they screw it up for everybody else. He's an idiot. You're the best out there on this team in the NFL. Yeah, I don't understand this world today. I really don't. Nico, you're like me. You're old enough to have been part of the world when it was different. Back when you could leave your front door unlocked and not have to worry about somebody coming in and stealing all your shit. Where you worked a job and you could make a good living and stuff for your family and your kids, and you did things that were honest, as opposed to everybody out there is a scammer, trying to steal your shit, or they're selling you shit that'll kill you because it's only about making money and not putting out a good product. I don't know what's wrong with this world today where people feel the need to just be a fucking asshole for no good reason behind a keyboard. Because, see, somebody like that, they wouldn't do that to your face. And as my man Denzel says, those who can do, those who can't only talk about those who can. So that's where you get assholes out there. I'm with Watson, Sanders, Gabriel Wagon. Okay. They ready to throw hands over Dak over here. Okay. I would have a question that, Nico. This is Dak's Slurpee Boys page as, okay. Again, another hater. I don't know how it's letting him change his name so much. It wouldn't let me do it once, and then I tried a second time, and I had to wait 6 months to do it again. Probably what it is you set up a new email, and you go online, and you just make a new profile. As long as it's a different email, you can do that. So there's that. And probably he has them already all made, and then he just flips from one to the other. Just changes, boom, boom, boom. You know, when you're a professional asshole, you learn all the tricks. In other news, Tiger Woods flipped his vehicle by himself. Blew a .00, but got arrested for DUI. Make that one make sense. Go Cowboys. That's what's up. Yeah. But that's what we got right now. What's y'all's thoughts? Do we entertain trying to get Myles Garrett? Is 2 first-round draft picks going to be enough spent on Myles Garrett to make this a Super Bowl championship team? I don't think it is. Yeah, they think, or they said possibly prescription drugs. He was arrested for it. Flipped it over about 2 miles from his house on Juniper Island. Yeah. He looked like he was okay. Mark, the Eagles will get Myles. Now, here's Logan. Here's what I'm going to say about that one. You getting Myles Garrett, you had the number 1 defense last year. Am I correct? You had the number 1 defense last year. What are you expecting more to get from your defense with Myles Garrett? I mean, that would be kind of like us getting Puka Nacua added to our offense. How much more do we think we're going to be able to get out of the number 1 offense? Your problem wasn't the defense. You are the opposite of us. Your problem was the offense couldn't score. And more than likely, A.J. Brown is going to be gone. So your weakness just gets weaker. Your strength just basically stays the same. Oh, man. Jeremy, Mark Holmes, please leave Momo on the side of the road somewhere like Joe Dirt. Damn. That's my only question. And you know, I know, Shadi basically says we can keep the draft pure and we can draft the best player available, but I get what you're saying, because it's like this. I made this point. We had a friend of ours, and she said, I want to find a man that makes 6 figures and is 6 feet tall. And I kind of said, 6 figures and 6 foot tall? I said, I think you've narrowed down the pool quite a bit. So just for the fun of it, I Googled and said, how many men in America make 6 figures and are over 6 foot tall? And it came up with 3% of the males. What I should have then done said, how many of them are married or gay? So out of all of the men out there, hypothetically, the ones making 6 figures and that are over 6 foot tall, it's only 3%. So and like I said, I didn't ask how many are gay and how many of them are married. I have to imagine that half of them have to be. So that means you've narrowed down the whole dating pool to 1.5%. Your odds of finding that 1.5% aren't real good. And so if you say, we've got to get a linebacker, you've narrowed down the pool to just this. And let's say there's only 5 good linebackers, or there's 2 good linebackers that you can plug and play right now. James, shout out to you, man. I forgot about April Fool's coming up, man. Damn, you just fooled me, because it's getting close, isn't it? Damn, it's 4 days away. Bigger question, what does she bring to the table? Okay, well, That's a whole nother conversation. I'm just saying that's what there's, a friend of ours said, I want a guy who's 6 foot tall and making six figures. And I'm kind of like, I don't know any. I'll be honest with you. I don't know any. I don't know any guys that are 6 foot that are making six figures right now. So I'm like, I can't help you. And that's the same thing with the draft. You don't want to narrow it down to saying we got one position and there's only a couple of guys in there that are good. And that's where being open, and it may be that there's a rush on edge rushers and wide receivers, and that there's a great starting tackle there. Lady Lever, I know his salary is the main reason. Bigger question is, what does she bring to the table? Philly 500 prank Mark, laugh out loud. Nowadays, loyalty, caring, good cooking, and hard work is hard to find. Don't even get into what they are professionally. You're right about that. James Snyder, and April 6th is my birthday. You'll be 56. Man, you're a baby. Damn. Wait till you hit the big 6-0. Usually better. She's professionally and more screwed up if she is. Wow. If the Browns don't bring in another quarterback or doesn't draft a QB, they're all in for 27 for Archie. Kid Cowboy, I think that's what their plan is right now anyway. They're going to run, roll the dice with Sedora this year. If you trade Myles Garrett and get a first this year and next year, you got 2 number ones for next year. You can try and definitely get, and especially if you tank this season. That's what I think the plan is, that they're basically looking to say, let's go all in and get Archie Manning. We can clear the books with Deshaun Watson. We get 5 first-round draft picks, over the next 2 seasons, and maybe we can build a team. All right, good people. I guess that's the end of Kid Cowboy. I guess he finally got tired and or is off making a video, I'm sure. I appreciate everybody being here. And remember, the draft is less than a month away. And Momo is joining the crew. And I hope I won't regret it. Nico, I tell you what, Nico, I bet you look a lot younger than I do. Because I know you look a lot better than I do. And probably feeling a lot better than I do. I got some hard miles on me, girl. All right, good people. I appreciate everybody. And we're going to turn out the lights because this party's over.
Turn out the lights. The party's over. They say that all good things must end. Call it a night. The party's over. And tomorrow and next year.